Live.
Hello, good morning, New York. We're back. Welcome to the 2024 Masters Mentoring Program by Eagle Eye Charities. But we're doing it live from Manila, Philippines, with our master, Nemi, Miranda.
Hello.
And
Good
you will
morning.
remember our EEC Trustee and Vice President from the Philippines. We have Fanny Blanco.
Good morning.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us. So, before we head there, let me just rehash a little bit about who is Nemi Miranda. Many of you already knows Nemi Miranda. But just quickly, Nemi is known as the father of imaginative figurism. That is a title that he already earned. And we'll talk a little bit more about that. But of course, if you recall, 2021, guys, many of you who were with us live in New York City, we presented Nemi Miranda, who was then nominated for the National Artist. But then we all know in 2021, the President Digong did not wind up not nominating anybody. So there's no winner, right, in 2021 for the visual arts category. So Angono, I think, is gonna do it again, right? So we're running again for the national artist, okay? Now, what else do we do? Okay, so let us talk a little bit about some marketing strategy. And because of you guys who's present here, and the Parspa group, where I was also a guest last week, there's a clamor and they love to talk about some marketing strategies. But who else can best talk about it than a man who made a distinction for himself, right? So just quickly, if you think about, there's so many tens and thousands of artists, you know, lahat yan magagaling, right? But what can they do in order to stand out from the rest? Parang ito yung sabi ko noon,
Sunflower.
parang sunflowers, lahat yan magaganda eh. Pero merong mga nakaangat na magaganda. So, in the lives of the artists, ganun din yun. Lahat magagaling, lahat magaganda, pero may mga nakaangat doon. So, let me turn over the mic. Do you have your... Okay.
Hello.
Yes.
Okay, so it is good morning in New York and good evening here in the Philippines. So I don't know the marketing you're asking, pero I just work on my own when I started my career as an artist. When I graduated in 1970, I know that art at that time was not as popular as today. There were very few galleries in Manila. I just can remember about 4 galleries in the 70s. But good enough that during that time, the administration, during the time of Marcos, promoted art already. So nagkaroon na ng award ng National Artist Award. And so nagkaroon na ng tao ng awareness about the art.
And by the way, talking of President Marcos, President Bongbong Marcos awarded our Master Nemi Miranda last year.
Yes.
Remember? Okay.
Wow.
Yes, so it was TOEFL at saka sa Philippine Army Stakeholders Award. So anyway, so doon naman, when I graduated noong 1970, most of my contemporary during that time went into advertising, nagkaroon sila ng mga employment, but parang hindi ko naman feel yun kasi I major in painting, but ako magiging employee. So I stick with what I can do during those time. And luckily, I encountered an architect who needs an artist who would make some sculptural works in a resort.
How old were you during this time?
21. I was 21.
Oh, I remember you
Yeah.
already discovered sculpture.
I discovered it myself because in school naman hindi mo naman napag-aaralan yung mga carving doon sa sabon at saka sa putik lang eh. But then I had to parang trial and error. And walang ang artist naman resourceful yan. Pag gusto mong matutunan, madidiscover mo in one way or another. And so in Angola, I was the first one who tried to explore concrete as a medium of sculpture. So yun yung mga ginawa ko. And then, but in 2 years' time, hindi naging successful yung resort na ginawa namin dahil it was built on the lakeshore area and nasira ng dalawang malakas na bagyo. So, after that, nagsimula na akong how will I start. So, pumunta ako sa may mga bahay-bahay sa Angola na mga tingin ko may yaman. Then I offered my services if I can do some mural sculpture for them, ganito, ganito. I have my design, my drawing, concept, ganon. And somehow, nakakakuha ko ng client locally. And then yung aking architect na nagsimula noong paggawa ko ng mga sculpture needed me in another project in Manila. So was doing sculptural barrel mural in a hotel in somewhere in Padre Paura. And so from there, ginagawa namin yung tabi ng street. Marami ako na-encounter ng mga client na who will be leading that, no? And so mga karamihan naging client ko yung mga resorts, mga beach resorts. So yun yung doon ako nagsimula na gumagawa ng mga sculptural works at nagkaroon na ng interconnections hanggang the biggest break I had was the mural of the history of the Philippine Army in 1973. I made the design.
So how old were you then?
About 24,
Oh, you were 24 only.
Oh, so I was really afraid to face the Philippine Army Commanding General staff because
How did you meet them? That's such a big project.
yes, my connection is through my townmate who is major in the Philippine Army, and knowing that Angono is known for bottom, they look for an artist who would do some murals for them.
Okay.
So that was my biggest challenge, and I started to do research work on the history of the Philippine Army. And it took me 6 months to really complete the design because the mural would be about 175 meters long.
Wow.
So the study alone, and maraming mga changes, it's not so easy. Every month I have to present my design, maraming cut, parang nagka-cut kami ng pelikula, cut, dagdag, bawas, dagdag.
So how long did it take you to finish the project?
It took me a year.
Wow, okay.
So I have to train mga artisans in Angono to learn how to do concrete sculpture.
Well, nag-sharing ka pa rin noon.
I did it because hindi ko matatapos
Yes,
yung
ang laki
mag-isa.
nun. Yes, so that's really great. And you're also known for these other bigger projects.
Yes,
Fast
actually,
forward, right?
doon yun ang biggest break that yung parang naging showcase ko. After I finished that mural in 1975, it was inaugurated by President Marcos then. So, yun yung naging stepping stone into getting more projects. But getting more projects also you need connections. My involvement as a cultural worker, a civic leader, which I inherit from my father. My father is a cultural worker and civic leader also. He was a former mayor ng Angola then. So he's involved into so many things. And being with him sa kanyang mga lakad-lakad, na-involved ako sa lahat ng kanyang mga sinimulan sa scouting, sa
Philippine Scouts, yes.
Boy Scouts. So, I've been in the Boy Scouts for almost 80 years, no? When I was involved in this, I naging member ako ng National Executive Board, so nakasama ko yung, karamihan nakasama ko dyan mga people in politics, mayor, governors, congressmen, who are into scouting also. And so being chairman ng scouting in Rizal, I was getting to meet a lot of mga influential people. Dito nagkakaroon ako ng somehow ng opportunity to present a project for halimbawa sa isang provincial, some community, they would need someone to do a monument for their local hero or to do mga murals for the history of their town. Kasi very rich tayo sa history, especially during the World War II.
And that's what you mean by cultural. Yun din yung cultural exposure more, that's different.
That's different. My being a native of Angono, I was involved in organizing art organization, yung Angono Theater Association, and then I
Ay, yung
organized...
Gigantes, yun yung favorite ko.
Yes, yeah. Yung kasama yan because even in yung aking involvement in tourism. Kasi nga ang sinimulan ko sa Angono yung art tourism. Though the reason why it came to that, I have a little studio and a small gallery. And so Angono is an advantage because people want to see Bottom Studio, Blanco Studio, and other luminaries in the arts in Angono.
So you had also your little Miranda studio there.
Yes, yes.
Ngayon,
So,
museum na yun.
They will come to Angono, then visit my place. Most of the time, alam mo naman, galing Manila, your collector, pando doon. So I offer them a little of merienda, coffee, bibingka, galing Maynila. So eventually, I thought of, tayo na ako ng little restaurant para yung mga bisita ko may kakainan.
And no wonder, if you go to the Miranda Art House, ganun din, yung set up.
Yeah.
May rooftop restaurant, meron din restaurant sa baba.
Yeah.
Yes.
So yun yung, it happened accidentally. Yung gano'n. Tapos, they would ask me, oh Nemi, how can I go and see Blanco, Botong, Guban, and the other artists in Angono? Ginagawa ko ng mapa yung drawing, this is the way to Blanco, this is the way to Botong. Every now they come, this is the way to Botong, this is... Ang ginawa na pabibigurap na ako ng plano, gano'n.
Mimeograph pa nung araw.
Videograph pa nung araw, so pagka may tatanong, ito mapa. So that's how it is. One day, the Department of Tourism, yung ano nila doon, nagkaroon ng ocular visit sa Angono and seeing how they can promote Angono as an artist village. So they came to me and I have yung si Rock Tyson, yung videographer. Sabi niya, ano ba naman ito, Nemi, ano ito? Dapat meron kayong brochure man lang ng of the place. Sabi niya, okay, I'll help you. Gawa mo ng design concept, gano'n. I-print namin, gagastusan namin. And then, yun, lumabas na namin.
Tourism ito.
Sa tourism, sa
Oh, okay, so that was your first
That was
shot
the
with
start
tourism.
of art tourism in Angono.
So guys, if you're listening closely, he started with all these non-profit activities. Non-profit, syempre, you don't expect to make the money, but because of all the connections that he made through the non-profit, and that's how he expanded his wings.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then being involved in an organization like when we did annual art exhibit in Angono, and then expanded it, we made it into the whole province of Rizal. I organized the Rizal Artists Federation. So the whole province was already involved in so many activities. And maganda naman dahil nung nagsiputan ng mga SM dyan, laging nagkaroon kami ng playing field to showcase our work in all SM in Rizal.
And I know you also do a lot of, this is something all of you artists out there who do, children outreach, because as you know, I'm involved with the Mangyan outreach, but you're also involved with all those schools in Angono. So one of the things that our artist here has been doing is go out there and also teach your craft to the next generation, because you also get recognized doing
Yes,
that.
I was the first one to put up art workshop in Angono since I have a bigger place there. And so, we did it first for our group. You know, Mang Enteng Manansala was our first mentor when we organized the Angono Videos. Malapit lang naman si Mang Enteng sa amin. So, susundin namin yan on a Sunday. And he would be willingly come with us and
You're listening to the man who's been there, who's been worked with all these Filipino masters.
yes, so,
So you're hearing all these names.
yes, oh. Tapos when I was in college, I came across with Miguel Galvez. Yun ang aking sideline. I had to work to sustain my studies. So, nagtrabaho ako sa,
Oh, you were in
Sabi-
college at the time.
yes, in college.
Okay.
And,
UST, right?
yes, and then they would, itong mga babining artists would visit in somewhere in neighboring barangay of Angono. And they would
Quickly
visit.
about that, no? So basically, successful ka na 27, 28, but you made sure you really went to college nonetheless. I think that's an important point. So, nag-UST college ka pa rin, although very successful ka na.
Bakit naman ako successful? Wala akong sinabi nung si bata pa. So I went to college. From high school, ano ba ma-achieve mo natin?
Nag-sculptor ka na nun, di ba?
Hindi pa. Siyempre, estudyante muna ako when I graduated, tsaka pa lang ako nag-explore.
Okay.
You know, I practically am nobody dahil from college, wala naman akong, hindi naman ako nasali sa anumang competition. I'm not a superstar in college. So, I graduated silently. No name, no disability or whatever. So, simple lang. Pero kasi ako, ang aking adikain noon, being coming from large number of mga ano kami, big family, 10 kami magkapatid, and my parents cannot afford to pursue me to study. So, gumawa ko ng paraan talagang I have to work, working student ako para ako makatapos. Kaya, you know, hindi ko naisip na yung magsasali sa mga contest. Dahil una-una, wala akong pambili ng materyales para sumali sa gano'n. So basically, talagang gumraduate ako na simple lang. So when I graduated, I make sure that kailangan meron akong source of income. And I am destined naman na not to work, not to be employed.
Yeah, not to be employed.
Not to be
Right,
employed.
right.
Kaya talagang hanap ako ng bracket kung paano ako magsusurvive during that
So
time.
now, fast forward now that you're a professional, how else, you continuously engage yourself, di ba? So please share with everyone, that even though you're a professional, ano yung mga organizations na yan, continue pa rin yung non-profit natin.
Hindi, being as a person, parang I am more of a cultural worker at the same time. I try to, parang hindi ako masaya na ako lang. Gusto ko may kasama akong kapwa ko artist together with me na pinupurso yung mga missions and visions that what we wanted for Angono. So, being in a group like Angono Atelier Association, the Rizal Artists Federation, we work as a group to promote the art and the artists as well, and the town as well. Parang kung sama-sama tayong kumikilos na ipopromote natin maganda, makikinabang lahat, no? And of course, sabi ko nga, sa mga ano na, yung nagputak ako ng gallery sa Mega Mall in 1994 to 2004. So ang aking mission noon is magkaroon ng playing field ang mga taga-Rizal na makilala sa art scene in a mall like Mega Mall. So,
Alam mo, naalala ko yung 101 bootcamp training namin, ang sales bootcamp training. you always treat it like a mission. Always, it's a mission. Because then it follows, may commission. O, diba?
Well,
Commission of artworks and
Yeah, sabi nga, when you are at the forefront of all what you do, syempre, without really intending to do it, but being in the forefront, you have the advantage, no? And you get to know the people who would want to buy your paintings, no?
in other words, visibility.
Visibility is
Na
important.
nakikita ka
Kailangan
nila.
visible.
Yeah, that's what I always told PARSPA. Visibility is the key.
Totoo yan. And although some artists naman, mas gusto nila yung nasa
Nasa loob, nagtatrabaho lang sa loob ng
ganun. Maraming
studio.
ganun. And I think I was also like that when I was younger. Parang siguro nagbago lang ang mga from 1970 hanggang yung first 5 years ko, hindi ako marunong makihalubilo sa tao. I prefer to be at the back, no? Pero my father told me, you need to learn how to speak for yourself. Kasi noong ma-attend ako ng mga meeting noon sa Philippine Army, ang father ko ang aking spokesperson.
Yes, and that was in fact your first break.
Mm.
You know, dito sa gallery na to, this is a small gallery, which is just the right size of a gallery. When we started this, I told one of our artists who started with us, huwag ka dito sa loob ng painting. Labas ka dun, no? So, take your studio out, ilabas nyo, doon kayo magpinta. And you know, soon enough, pinaliligiran na siya ng maraming tao. And within the same week, I have a bunch of lawyers coming in here. The entire law offices, lahat sila, sabay-sabay, pumapasok. Every single day. Why? Kasi may artist kami na dyan nag-studio sa labas. So, ang lakas ng attraction. Yeah, tsaka yung, ay, meron palang art gallery doon. And then, that same artist, hanggang doon sa kabilang dulo, yung bilihan ng kapiron, kilala na siya. Ikaw ba yung artist
Alam
doon?
mo yan ang kulang sa Pilipinas, di ba? Pag napunta tayo sa Europe, makita mo sa mga parks yan, yung mga artists, ang paligid, no? And I think the reason why it became a tourist attraction because of the presence of mga performing artists and visual artists roaming around the area. So, napakalakas ng impact noong visibility ng artist sa lugar na on the spot sila, ganyan. Talagang crowd drawer yan.
And I know, we have a Central Park plein air artist group with Greta Lod. And I realize, yung mga portrait commission na yan, actually, maraming lalapit sa inyo habang kayo nagpi-plein air. Ay, magkano po yan? Gumagawa ba kayo ng portrait? Kasi gusto ko sana ang paggawa ng portrait. And the truth is, that same group of the Central Park plein air artists, they started going into portraiture. Kasi ang daming lumalapit na pinapanood ka, tapos mamaya ni-interview ka na. So I think it's really, really true. So what else at this point, can you give a little bit more tips for what our next generation of artists can do? Kasi iba yung nung time noon, parang mas close-knit yata yung mga tao. Now, with the advent of social media, lahat sila parang nasa telepono na lang yata. So I know how different it is.
Mas madali mabuhay ang artist ngayon kaysa nung araw. Kasi nung araw nga, walang market eh. At wala kang way of promoting yourself, no? Hindi ka mapaksak sa malalagay sa dyaryo o mga interview sa TV. Pero how many artists have that opportunity to land in a newspaper? Di katulad ngayon, di ba? You can market your own self through social media. And during those years, wala namang art collectors, walang bumibili. Before mga 60s, paintings are just for decoration. Galleries in Mabini they don't look for artists. They just look for painting that can be
That
hung
would
in
match
the wall,
furniture.
furnitures. So, hindi tinitingnan ng artist during that time at saka wala ma-exhibit nung araw eh. So, lumitaw lang ang recognition ng mga artist after the 70s. So, nagkaroon ng National Artist Award. Doon,
I see.
nagsimula. But then, for the first 10 years hanggang 1980, talagang kukunti pa rin ang mga artist. Kasi mga artist nasa loob ng advertising firm lahat.
That's
Naroon
true.
sila lahat, no?
That's true.
Kaya very limited ang mga opportunities for artists dahil limited ang galleries. But somehow, today, mas madaling mabuhay ang artist kasi with social media and
Because of
so
social
many
media.
ways to expand your art. Ang dami mong resources na to dig your what kind of style na pwede kong gawin, no? And with the use of mga digital art, it's easier to...
Actually, I just want to
fix.
draw the difference, no? Kasi yung social media, marketing yon. If you recall, kakwentuhan natin kanina si Master Manny Garibay. He wants to stay out of social media, but because we're talking of his creativity, your authenticity, knowing yourself. So I think let's put a line between the two. So earlier our topic was the creativity, authenticity, how you bring out the yourself into your art. So he was saying, stay out of social media. But now that you're dealing with marketing, social media really helps a lot. That's the truth.
That's the truth, yes.
Yeah.
Is that
So
right?
unless you have any other question, I'm going to ask you for to sum it up of what you think. Because after I'll be calling on Sam in a little bit. Yes. Is there any question from our group here? We have so many artists here.
Think wala na.
All right. So yeah. So if I will sum it up, we talk about the visibility of being involved in a non-profit because the more you give, then you will receive later on without really thinking about it. That's not the intention, but you treat it as a mission. And then you widen your connection and start bringing your gallery outside, visibility. So you take your gallery outside where you can be seen, and you're involved with cultural, the arts, and even religious, right? So all of this will bring you the possibility of getting new connections. And of course, guys, we have to rehash our social, take out the social butterflies in us. Many of us kasi nahihiya. So, yeah. So, kailangan maging social tulad ni Sir Nemi. Alright? So, anything else that you want to add?
Well, to all my fellow artists out there, one of the things that will make you successful is, of course, muna, hindi mo isipin yung money first, being an artist, but it should be the love for what you do. It should be the passion, it's what you feel inside to express yourself. Being an artist, it's not really about money, but you strive to be the best.
Thank you so much. It's very well said. So, thank you po. Watch out, we're going to have this series of Masters Mentoring. Up next is Renato Habulan. And then, we'll come up with new topics, but this time on Zoom na. Kasi I'll be back to base in New York City, and sila Master dito, but I think you might be traveling again to the United States. And then we will hold another live session. In the meantime, if you recall, in 2020, July 4, 2020, meron tayong online competition. So, our winner is here. Dun sa contemporary arts, we have Sam Pinaso, and this is the opportunity. I'm gonna ask Sam so you can present him the award. Because ikaw yung juror noon 2020. I